yellow.
Here they come. They'll have driven, Katie, won't they, to Windsor Great Park and then got into these magnificent carriages with huge excitement and buzz, in particular about Carriage 3.
Well, yes, a lot of buzz about Carriage 3, which you're going to get to see quite shortly after the Queen, who's of course always in the first carriage, because it's the newly married Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So we're looking forward to seeing a sight of them. But let's just turn our eyes quickly to carriage number 1. Of course, Her Majesty the Queen. And Mark, look at that fabulous bright yellow hat.
Looking wonderful. Today Her Majesty's wearing an Angela Kelly outfit. So it's a citrus yellow, heavy jersey A-line coat, which we'll be seeing a bit later on. She's also got a delicate full silk jacquard A-line dress underneath there as well, and the beautiful hat, an Angela Kelly hat in the yellow colour there as well. Matching jersey wool on the crown and the brim with a blue hydrangea, my favourite flower. There we go.
That's a wonderful choice.
It's such a great choice, isn't it? Because it really stands out in the crowd, and colour-wise, she always makes sure that she gets it right, because she knows the fact that so many people have turned out to get a glimpse of her, and she knows that if she wears a beautiful, bright, stand-out colour, then that means all the more people are going to catch a glimpse of her.
Absolutely. Well, she does wear these bright colours to be seen, and by her side, of course, her daughter, the Princess Royal, Anne, who is celebrating becoming a grandmother again. As of yesterday, if you're only just tuning in, we've literally just heard the news minutes before we came on air from Buckingham Palace that Zara Phillips, as Ed just pointed out, a great equestrian, a great rider and a lover of all things horses, has just had a second child, a baby girl. So a lot of celebration for the royal family, and they're also joined by the Duke of York, Prince Andrew, who often rides in the carriage along with his mother, and the Lord Vestey, someone who I think, Ed, we're going to see quite a bit of this week. He's of course the Queen's Master of the Horse, so a very important person at Royal Ascot. He's the head of the Royal Mews, who of course are in charge of all the horses in today's procession and all of the state landaus, which we saw at the not so long distant royal wedding.
That's right, and good luck to Her Majesty this afternoon. She has her runner in our final race today, the Wolferton Stakes, a listed race these days at 5:35. Fabricate, the horse's name, trained by Michael Bell of Big Orange fame. So that's carriage 1, Katie. Tell us about carriage 2.
Well, in carriage 2 we have the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, who's opted for something beautiful in cream, a fabulous hat, lovely pearl earrings, she looks lovely, and Princess Beatrice of York and Princess Eugenie of York. So quite nice to see Prince Andrew's daughters riding with their uncle, Prince Charles, who's just fresh back from an official visit to Ireland, which he undertook with Camilla.
They look very beautiful, gorgeous piece of millinery they're wearing there.
Well, it's going to be a big year for Princess Eugenie as well. Of course, this is the second royal wedding of the year to look forward to. Princess Eugenie is going to be marrying her fiancé, Jack Brooksbank, who I'm sure is here at Royal Ascot as well, and will be popping up quite regularly during the week. And they're going to be getting married later this year in October in Windsor at St George's Chapel. So a bit of a rerun of a royal wedding for us. So amidst all of the royal wedding planning for Eugenie, she's found time to come here to Royal Ascot. This is a date, I think, for all of the royals, which is very much in their calendars. Certainly for the Queen, this date goes in before anything else in the year.
There's probably 6 days racing that go straight in the calendar. These 5 days and the Derby, of course.
And she has never missed one since coming here in 1945 as Princess Elizabeth. She's been here every single year, which is quite something. It just goes to show you how much she appreciates it.
I reckon in a moment there'll be an ooh and an ah and a cheer.
Might be.
Let's see carriage 3.
Oh, well, there you go. There's the cheer, Ed. There's the cheer for the newest member of the royal family, of course, the Duchess of Sussex, the former actress Meghan Markle. This is her debut Ascot. My goodness, she's had a number of debuts, you know, her first Trooping the Colour, her first official engagement with the Queen in Chester last week, which was a great success, and here she is, sitting alongside the Countess of Wessex, Sophie, who I have to say looks incredibly elegant as well. They both look beautiful.
So elegant, so elegant. Duchess of Sussex here wearing Givenchy, obviously the designer of her wedding dress as well.
Well, she seems to be forming a bit of a collaboration, doesn't she, Mark, with Claire Waite-Keller?
Indeed.
In the same way, I think that the Duchess of Cambridge has done with Alexander McQueen. You know, she has turned to into Givenchy for quite a few of these big occasions. She was also wearing Givenchy in Chester, that beautiful
that
cream
was
dress.
an
And she looked
amazing
wonderful.
dress. I'm so looking forward to seeing the entire creation here when she steps out of the carriage. She's also wearing a Philip Tracy hat as well, the Duchess of Sussex here.
That's beautifully stylish, isn't it? With the black and white there, and also the collared neckline. As you say, we'll wait and see what else awaits with that outfit when she steps out of the carriage.
Many oohs and ahs. Many oohs and ahs, I'm
And
sure.
a very dapper. Let's not leave Prince Harry out, because he looks very dapper alongside his uncle, the Earl of Wessex, as well. Both of them very dashing in their top hats. I have to say, having seen Prince Harry, I'll still call him Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, as I suppose we should technically refer to him now, looking so happy, really basking in newly-wedded bliss. And in fact, we had another announcement out of Kensington Palace earlier on this morning that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are going to be carrying out their first tour as newlyweds, and they're going to be going to Ireland at the start of July. So a trip to look forward to. There really is so much going on for the royal family at the moment. It's a very exciting time.
We'll see plenty more of that third carriage, because as you know, Charlotte, that will capture people's imagination
Certainly
around
will.
the world. First up though, Katie, this is carriage 4.
This is carriage 4, and we've got Prince Michael of Kent, the Queen's cousin, riding in this carriage, alongside the Lady de Morley and Lord de Morley, both very good friends of Her Majesty the Queen. They will have just enjoyed a very lavish lunch at Windsor Castle. It's an opportunity for Her Majesty the Queen to entertain her family, and today is very much about her family being at Ascot, but also close friends like the de Morleys. So yes, this is the 4th carriage.
Those Windsor Greys are stunning as always, leading the carriages up the racecourse. And just look at the crowd in the background. Everyone with their mobile phones generally, and it looks from that, trained on carriage 1 and 3, I would say. And the proximity you get here at Ascot is extraordinary, really, particularly when they get to the paddock here in a few minutes' time. This traditional image never tires, Charlotte.
It is so striking, isn't it, to see them done, and this has been done year after year after year. It's got that beautiful sense of tradition, that sense of history, the sense of the ceremonial that the royals just do so well, and incredible to see year after year people lining that route, all wanting to catch a glimpse of the Queen and the other members of the royal family. And I think there'll be a special buzz this year because we see, of course, the newest member of the royal family, and for them, how about that in a landau again so soon after their wedding, when we saw those incredible images, didn't we, of them emerging as the newly married royal couple.
Well, one of the wonderful things about these carriages, and actually the decision to ride them is only taken at the very last minute, because of course we never know what the weather is going to do here, is that they can be so well seen. This is a real opportunity, as you were saying, Charlotte, to see at close quarters the royal family, and for many, always a great treat to see the Queen. Always a wonderful opportunity to come and see the Queen at the races. But I think a lot of excitement today because the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are here, and they will in fact be presenting a trophy later on this afternoon, which is a great honour and a privilege for them. So what an introduction, really, to Royal Ascot for the Duchess of Sussex. This is what royal life is going to be all about. We don't know if she's a fan of horse racing. Certainly I can tell you that this is her first time to Royal Ascot, and she loves animals, I know that much. I'm not sure whether she's a keen horse racing enthusiast, but she has spent quite a bit of time now with the Queen, so she will certainly know how important Royal Ascot is to the Queen, how important horses are to the Queen, and she's getting a great tutelage.
I think she's going to instantly fall in love with Royal Ascot. You can't not,
Who
can you?
can't?
It's the
Exactly.
most incredible
I've seen
experience.
pictures of her horse riding as a child, so it's there somewhere. So hopefully she'll be bringing that out with the Queen as well. And there were rumours that she wanted to learn polo after visiting, so you never know. I think maybe she'll develop that horse connection.
Well, she certainly seems to be embracing all things British, from polo to Royal Ascot, and she really seems to be making that seamless transition into British culture.
Ascot, these moments really do put the Royal into Royal Ascot. They now turn left. The horses, when they come out for the racing later, go the other way. They'll come out of that walkway, take a right and head down to the various starts, sometimes left for the longer races. They'll go under that walkway now, and that's the proximity I was talking about, left and right. And then they'll make their way through, and they'll come through into the paddock where we're situated, which is always greeted by a huge roar. The Duchess of Sussex on the far side there. These are pictures you will see, not just in newspapers in this country, Charlotte, but all around the world. Nearly 600 million people they expect to be watching Royal Ascot, over 200 territories.
It's quite something, isn't it, when you know that an event like this just captures everybody's imagination, not just here for what it represents, but as you say, around the world. And I think particularly because we've had so much happening in the royal world, the royal wedding recently, all eyes will be on this event today, wanting to catch a glimpse not only of the Queen, but of the newest member, the Duchess of Sussex.
One might imagine there'll be more people tuning in than usual in America, because I know there are a lot of American horses.
That's
I'm
right.
really brushing up on my equestrian knowledge here. But of course, that huge American audience that were captivated by the royal wedding, you know, they have their very own American princess now, so global interest really.
Here's the moment where they will come into the paddock for the first time. And the big crowd here will get their first glimpse of Her Majesty the Queen. And Katie, you mentioned those American runners. Bill Mott, the Hall of Fame trainer, has a horse called Yoshida in our first race. Wesley Ward, who's had so much success at Royal Ascot, 9 winners and counting, has Lady Aurelia this afternoon in the big sprint, the King's Stand, up against our very own Batage. That is going to be some clash, a clash Her Majesty the Queen will absolutely relish.
It's so wonderful, that yellow colour. You can see it from afar, can't you? Which is exactly the intention when Angela Kelly puts these outfits together. Our personal assistant and her hairdresser as well. Beautiful citrus yellow and that blue hydrangea on her hat.
Cheers all round, a huge cheer for the Queen and also a huge cheer for the Duchess of Sussex as they're making their way around in the carriages right now in the parade room. Big smiles on everyone's faces, and look at the Queen, she looks delighted to be here, doesn't she? It really is such a highlight in her calendar, the first date to go in her diary. She makes sure she never misses it.
Well, in the official programme, she writes, "My family and I greatly look forward to Royal Ascot." And she certainly looks like she's enjoying it today. Smile from the Princess Royal, Princess Anne, who must be delighted with the news that she has a new grandchild. And if you're just tuning in, that's why we don't have Zara Phillips here today. She has just given birth to a little girl, so congratulations, Zara and Mike.
And there is the Duchess of Sussex right beside us. Very beautiful dress. Duchess of Wessex as well.
Duke of Sussex very gallantly getting out first just to help his new wife.
And we can see the lace detail there on her dress, which just looks stunning,
Well,
doesn't it?
that is what Givenchy are famous for. It's beautifully done. An amazing outfit.
What happens
Very
now
gallant.
is Her Majesty the Queen will be out of her carriage and she'll have a reception line. She'll be greeted by Johnny Weatherby, who's the royal representative here at Ascot Racecourse. That is Johnny on the right there. And then the reception line. Sir Francis there is one of the trustees. Harry Morley is on his right. And you just got a glimpse of Guy Henderson, who's the chief executive there, bowed to Her Majesty. On the left amongst them is Lady Selina Carter, part of the reception line. And the Princess Royal with her back to us, who is another absolute lover of the sport. She and the Prince of Wales own horses now, which is great for the sport of horse racing. And there's the detail you were talking about.
Yeah. Beautiful Philip Tracy hat as well from the Duchess of Sussex there. Keeping it simple, which is what she seems to be the key to what she's wearing at the moment. The
Simplicity
simple
and
lines, but incredible quality and elegance as well.
I think it's rather lovely that you're watching the Duke of Sussex in these pictures, just pointing out to Meghan, you know, how things work, showing her the horses, going through the programme with her, because of course this is her first time. She's having to navigate a lot of protocol here today. There is an Ascot etiquette, as we know very well, but you know, for the Duchess of Sussex, she's having to get her head around an awful lot, in a very short space of time. And I have to say, I think she's doing a pretty marvellous job. And not easy.
He must be, you know, so thrilled to have her there by his side and be able to share this excitement, and just what an amazing event it is with her.
And rather lovely that the Countess of Wessex is there as well, because of course she married into the royal family, and she knows better, I suppose, than anyone else the tasks and the challenges that lie ahead for the Duchess of Sussex. So she's got a lot of support here today, including in the Queen, and as well, of course, her key mentor, Prince Harry.
We're 14 minutes away from our first live race. The Queen Anne over the straight mile. And very often the Queen will stay in the paddock to look at the horses ahead of the first race. And wouldn't it be great if they could cap it with a royal winner at some point this week? She'll have chances. Fabricated, I've said, in the Wolferton, our last live race. Potentially elector, seniority as well. Possibly runners later in the week, and she won the Belmont Gold Cup a couple of weeks ago with a horse called Cool to Mind, who might well, Katie, run in the Gold Cup next year's famous race of the lot.
Well, it would be wonderful for Her Majesty to have a winner here. And I think when you watch her at the races, you do get to see a very different side to her, a side that is a little bit more perhaps spontaneous than we're used to. You can see how much joy days like today bring to her, and she really gets excited about it all.
And how is that for a setting? Katie, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
You'll be back with us tomorrow for the Royal Procession. Fashion team, have a very good afternoon.
Thank you.
And that is the best of British, and the action gets underway.